So the project was to develop a play resource for the new garden at the Hepworth. The garden's such a beautiful place to be, to have the opportunity to stop and sit and engage in open-ended, self-led activities in that beautiful space. So we initially engaged in a long-term research project with people that live in close proximity to the gallery by working at the local nursery, local children's centre and at community events nearby. In these workshops we explored materials and activities which helped us explore the things that Barbara Hepworth was inspired by. We watched how the children and the families engaged with different materials, how they worked creatively together and as a team.
They were so enthused by the ideas that were shared that's now become embedded in our practice and has taken our practice forward, which is absolutely fantastic. I think the biggest impact for families was that they could visit the gallery and realise that they were part of that. The impact for staff, not just their professional development, but also increasing in their confidence to try out new ideas and practical activities to enthuse the children.
Mark from Studio Polpo came along to every single workshop, creating a design that fitted all our needs.
We worked with the Hepworth from a kind of very early stage to sort of co-design and investigate how this play structure module might work. So I think our key focuses on this were something that could be taken apart and reused if it needed to be, things that were using natural materials or waste materials, and then things that would work at different scales.
We combine materials that we're quite familiar with, like laminated plywood, with quite experimental, new emerging materials that are currently being tested for their use within architecture. So an example of this is a mycelium. It's a mushroom spawn. It actually looks really heavy, so sometimes parents kind of think that there's this really heavy, bulky object that's within the structure, and then they pick it up and are kind of amazed at how light it is.
So these skills that children like to repeat and perfect, posting, wrapping, threading, mark making, being incorporated into the design of the play resource. Lots of families are playing together to work with the resource, and some of the activities encourage them to go off and explore the garden and the paths in the garden. So we've got watermark making and rolling. So there's holes punched through nearly every element of the resource that are about the size of a garden cane. Garden canes are an object we use quite a lot in the workshop. They can be hammered into the lawn and they can be used to create sculptures and dens. We have a bowl inset into the tabletop that can hold water or rocks or stones. Even the colours of the resource were carefully considered. We chose a colour scheme that would complement the garden at all times of year. The play resource also includes built-in looking tools, so we can look through them at the sculptures and the plants behind. So we wanted to give local families a sense of ownership within the gallery.
It's been really interesting to see families play with the installation before going into the Hepworth, and it's been really interesting to see this structure in the garden serving as a kind of first point of engagement with sculpture for visitors.